Hi. Good day, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? We are officially back. Season 2. We did promise you. We did promise you something better, something big, and we're here to deliver. We're very much happy to be back. We've got plenty of content that we've planned. Um, I mean, the list is endless, you know. Yeah. So, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, everybody. So, I'm your what? I'm your host, Kaya Junior, and as per usual, like it feels so good to to finally be in the same room and have like a chat. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, brother.
Because being online and then the sound is bad and then there's a
Yeah,
lag and then there's technicalities and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I
Ukran.
think it's nice just to, like, as you just put it, like just to be, in one place where like dialogues are much flowing and better flowing, and it's much more efficient in terms of like content because there's no technical difficulties. Touch wood, as yet. So yeah, man. I mean, now we're on YouTube.
Sure, yeah,
So we don't
yeah.
know what will happen next. Maybe we'll have like a live audition, live audience, live
Live
audience, in
audience.
front of us with a panel and questions. So yeah, man. But as always, we have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And the main purpose is obviously just to educate
Yeah.
the viewers now, so not the listeners anymore. Well, there's
Ish,
still
ish
listeners,
levels.
levels. But yeah, man, we're just here to have fun and educate you guys and educate ourselves as well because we're also learning
Yeah.
as we go. So yeah, man, it's great to be
And
part of
I
this.
think a big thank you from us to you guys in terms of season one. The reception has been warm, you know. Like I remember, like every time after an episode drops, would have like comments, you know, people wanting to find out more on a certain topic,
Yeah.
and all those people that we always bother on WhatsApp to to put our banners on their statuses. Thank you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And I think what's even more heartwarming for us is when people outside our circle reach out to us and start asking us questions. You know, that I think it's because of the people in our circle that are sharing our content that you know the circle gets bigger.
That's true.
So please just continue sharing. You're helping someone. You know. So yeah. So we're back with season 2. So this whole season
Yeah.
is just dedicated to small businesses.
Yeah.
Why? Because we've seen that with COVID since last year, a lot of people have started their own businesses.
true.
You know, small
That's true.
businesses operating from home, whether you know online deliveries and then all those things. You know, and we just saw a huge gap there that where we feel like information will be needed, you know, proper information, like how do you do 1, 2, 3, you know, because no one has prepped us, you know. Obviously, we never saw COVID-19 coming,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're just there to provide whatever small information that you might have, just to give it to us and yeah, hit the ground running. And if we have already started operating, then we may continue operating and do things the proper way.
Yeah, man.
So today's episode is registering a business. You know, first things first. So you've got this brilliant business idea, and you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know where to start for funding. You don't know. You don't even know if you should ask for funding or not. You know, will you be able? If you get a loan, will you be able to pay it back? Will you even be able to get that loan, you know? And yeah, how do you go about registering? What do they need? How much is it? How long does it take? You know, all those things. Those are questions that we will be answering in a short while with Pratamza. So, Granmos, you ready?
My man, as always, let's do this. Let's get into it.
And the nice thing about it is that you also have your own business, right?
Yeah, no, hey, brother, I had to start my own business. Like I think, you don't you never know, what you're getting yourself into until you get into it. And as you mentioned earlier, that there's no one to tell you exactly the processes of, opening a business, what it entails. Like you always have to take it step by step, do your research. Although it's brilliant, but at times, it gets frustrating because you hit a brick wall because you don't know certain information. But if there was, let's say, platforms like these, that'll advise you better in terms of where to go, what to do, how much it is. Because certain people they think opening a business is thousands and thousands of rands. But we'll cover some of the the main elements in this episode. So yeah, man. Without further ado, let's kick it. Let's kick it.
Kick it. So first things first, right? So what are the different types of business ownership? If you can just like briefly explain that to us and maybe their advantages and disadvantages and which one you would advise for, whatever case in point or scenario.
So there's 4 different types of businesses, right? So you get a sole proprietor, where it's a one-man show.
Sure.
So Junior's Butchery, for example, where the advantage of that is that you don't actually need to register for that, right? So it's purely on your own. But now the disadvantage of that is that if, for example, you accumulate debt within your company, they can actually take your assets, and pay off that debt. For example, if you owe creditors, so creditors can actually go to Junior directly and take Junior's house or Junior's cars or Junior's cash in your personal bank,
Yes, sir.
and attach it to the credit that you have with them. You get partnerships. So partnerships is similar to sole proprietor.
Sure.
But with that, obviously, as the name says, it's between 2 and 20 people.
Sure.
So it's up to 20 people, and the advantages of that is that you share responsibilities. But you have to have like a partnership agreement where you state in black and white, that okay, Uchuna is going to do this, Utsepang is going to do that, this person is going to do that, and the disadvantage of a partnership as well, similar to a sole proprietor, is that all partners are liable to the credit, of the company. So they'll still go for your personal stuff as well. You get a CC, closed corporation.
Sure.
So closed corporations, they don't exist anymore. Well, let me put it this way. So you can't register for a new CC, right? After 2008, they came out with the Companies Act, saying that, from here onwards, you can't register for a CC anymore. But CCs that were registered prior to 2008 can still operate, though.
Yeah.
And then you get the last one, which is partnerships. So partnerships, for me, and in my own business as well, that's what I registered under. Because with partnerships, the nice thing about it is that if, let's say, for example, I've got a lot of credit within the company, okay, they don't come to me personally. So the credit is attached to the company and not my personal self. So we are seen as 2 entities, all right?
Is it partnership or private?
Private.
Private.
Or did I say partnership?
Yeah.
Private, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, with private companies, so PTY Ltd. So with that, you're seen as 2 entities. So creditors won't come to Junior's personal belongings and attach, his assets to their credit. So that's the benefits of having a private. So a lot of people of late, they're actually going in that route now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Can you register it with private? Can you be one person registering it? Like,
Yeah.
or do you need like?
Yeah, so with a private company, you don't need, like, for example, a lot of people. Like, for example, in my company, it's a private company, but I'm the only shareholder. So with a company or with a private company, it's all about shareholders. So it's all about shareholding. So either a natural person, so that's you and I, can be shareholders. Another company can be a shareholder, or a natural person, which is like a trust, can be a shareholder as well. So that's why with private companies, you don't have to have like a lot of people, like partnerships, for example. You can just operate it by yourself.
Okay, but then now, so the way you put it, like it would make more sense for anyone to go with a private ownership. So So why why would I? Is it maybe expensive or what? Because why would I choose then a sole proprietorship if all the liability falls on me? Where else there's an option of a private company where that is sort of like separated between my business and my own personal life, the personal belongings in a way.
Yeah, so I think, a private company in that sense, being two separate entities, it's better because, for example, number one, like as we put it in terms of credit, right?
Yeah.
So Junior is in his own personal capacity, he's got his own thing going. He's got his own credit and so forth. In the private company, it's treated as its own entity as well.
Yes.
Right. So that's why I say it's better for, like, my advice is that it's better to have a private company, because with private companies, obviously you have to register it, and once you've registered it, obviously you get like your tax clearance certificates, and so forth. In that case, you are able to approach like investors, because once it's registered, they see it as like a legal entity now,
Yeah.
and they've got more confidence and trust in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yo, but I don't know if maybe you've answered me. Maybe I'm not hearing you.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is it maybe difficult to obtain a private as opposed to a sole proprietorship? Because as you're saying at a private, it seems like there's more advantage in the sense that if for example your business is not successful or you get a loan, and as keep, then they're gonna take your personal assets, right? That's the as a sole trader.
Yeah.
Where else, if it's a private company, I register as a private company. They won't touch my personal assets, right?
Yeah.
So now, why would I then go for a sole trader when I can go for something better, which is a private?
So with a sole trader, I think people back then, there's a few sole traders being registered now.
Yeah.
So back then, yes, it was easier because you just basically print your name and then you open shop,
Yeah.
right? But in terms of, let's say, having a bank account, they'll have to see your SIPs, which is your Company and Intellectual Property Commission.
Yeah.
Where Junior has to produce that certificate to the bank to open a bank account. Whereas with a sole proprietor, it's pretty simple. You can even use your own personal bank account.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's
Okay.
why,
Okay.
a lot of people are going in that route, because you don't have to go through the stress of, registering and reserving a name and so forth. So it's just simple, clear. Today we're deciding we're opening a butcher. We just put the name there. Done.
Oh, no, I get you. So the process of obtaining a sole proprietor
Yeah.
is easy.
It's
compared
much
to,
easier,
I
yeah.
hear you. So when I was doing this research, I was listening to these other ladies talk, which is obviously true. Sometimes, let's say you want to start a business, and then you get scared because now you're thinking that's like a lot of things that you're thinking about. One of them being a business plan. And they were saying that some were saying, one of them was saying that I run my business and I don't have a business plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could you just explain, like, what is a business plan, and do I need one for me to start operating or trading?
All right. So number one, so you don't need a business plan to register a company, right? Whether it's a private company or partnership. So a business plan is basically a roadmap for you to reach your objectives. So, for example, if we are in, let's say, the meat industry where you want to open a butchery, all right? So it'll encompass, let's say, a financial section where we'll get to find out, how much, let's say, machinery costs, how much rental will cost, how much meat from the abattoir will cost, selling price and so forth. So you'll do a thorough research into the whole financial game when it comes to, let's say, a butchery. In the business plan as well, you get the marketing section where it compromises of your 4Ps, which is your people, price, promotion, and place. Okay, so it's a study where you see if your butchery will be viable, and if it is viable, what type of target market are you going for, where is the right location to open it, and so forth. So, and a business plan, the great thing about a business plan, it's even when you're going to seek, let's say, investments or to seek funding, for example, you can give the document to, let's say, those funders. and they'll be able to see, all right, so Junior is not just, thumb sucking all these things. He actually did his research. He actually put some time into this plan, and they have more confidence in awarding Junior, let's say, that R1 million to you for you to start up the business, because they can see where you're going. And if, let's say, something does happen, they can always have something to fall back and say, Junior, you said in your business plan that you're gonna do A, B, C, but now what's happening? So yes, it is proper to have a business plan, because obviously it's a roadmap. Like, for example, you going to Durban, you don't just we won't just get up now and say, we feel like going to the beach.
You never know.
Starting motor just well is fine. Because we need to plan, all right, how much will the petrol cost be? I'm a toll gate, and those things, where you're gonna stay. So once you've got that guide map, it's better for you to run your business, because at least you've got a guide that actually leads you in the proper direction.
Sure, but what you're saying is that a business plan is not a brick wall for me not to start my business.
No,
I
no,
can
no, no,
Start
no.
my business
Yeah.
without a business plan.
Yeah.
It's just beneficial when you want to attract investors, then they're gonna need that from you. Because if someone is investing on you, they need a proper plan and
Yeah.
proper projections.
That's
as to-
true.
I hear you. So now let's go to registering a business.
Yeah.
How can I register a business?
All right, so it's, people find it quite intimidating, like the people that I've spoken to. Like, they think, registering a business is like this headache where you have to stand in queues, or you have to have a lot of money for you to open a business. And it's quite chilled, it's quite simple. So as I said, there's eSIPs where you register your company through. All right, so you pay, I think it's $50 to reserve a name. Right, so the nice thing is that that $50 is actually refundable. So they give you like 6 months for you to actually register a company, right? And then for like a private company, you pay 125 rands, and for a non-profit organization like a charity or a church, that's like 475. So let's put it this way: so for you to basically start off in terms of registering a company with all your documentations in place, you're looking at nothing more than $200.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Then how do I register?
So you obviously go into the SIPS website. Okay. So once, maybe you can even put a link in the description in the video as well. So you actually go on the website, you reserve a name first, so that no one sues you. You might say Junior's Butcher, but there's another Junior's Butcher that's operating out there.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing actually about of actually registering a company, so that there's no duplication of names. So once you've done that, so you can everything you do online, so you don't have to stand in queues.
Nice.
We would live in the digital age. So no queues, no driving to offices to drop off documents.
Yeah.
So once you've reserved the name, okay, they'll get back to you and say, all right, so you get up to 4 names to reserve. And then they'll tell you, okay, out of these 4, let's say 3 of them exist, and this one doesn't exist. Then you'll choose that name. Once you've went to the name, they'll ask for your documentation, like proof of residence and your ID, to actually prove that you do exist, and that you are a real person. So once you've done that, then it's the actual registering of your company. Then that's when they'll attach like the address to your company. Junior is the director of this company. If there's 2 of you guys, they'll register both of you guys there. The shareholder as well. If Junior holds 100%, or if we're splitting it between 70 and 30%. So you do all of those things there. And then once that is done, they then send you a memorandum of incorporation, so MOI, to say, right, Junior, your business has been registered, and these are your documents.
Nice. So roughly how long does this process take before obviously you go online, do what you need to do, then you pay whatever amount is,
Yeah.
and then how soon do they get back to you?
So they're quite quick, Bona. I think within 2 weeks, you can have your business registered. So from reserving a name for you till you getting your documentations can be in a space of 2 weeks.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
Nice. And then, obviously, besides what you've just mentioned, like if having the same type of name, let's say you run a business called Junior's Boucherie, and I also which can be a clash, right? Like, what sort of other benefits are there when you register your business?
So once you've registered your business, right? So obviously that's the one advantage. The other advantage is that for you to open a bank account, they'll need those documents from SIPS, right? And obviously we know that opening a bank account it makes more financial sense as opposed to you just taking cash from your customers. Akubamba inkunzi. You know, so it's much better that so the advantage is that you have a bank account that's operating.
Yeah.
Another thing as well is that you can actually register with SARS, you know, for you to get your tax certificate and get a tax clearance. And then once you've got that, right, so that's when you can actually approach, let's say, for example, funders. You can bid for tenders. You can go for, let's say, contracts with certain corporations. So once you've got all those documents in place, I mean, Ujuna now looks even more trustworthy. So Ujuna has a bank account under his name. He's got a tax clearance, you know, in his company. So once you've got, you know, those three major things, it's better for you to basically get business out there and for people to see you as a serious business person.
Ah, sweet. And then, so you spoke about funding, right? And then I know so there's a thing that's called an organization that's called the NYDA, and also there's another one called CEDA.
Yeah.
Do you mind just briefly explaining this and how they can be of help to a small business owner or someone who's starting out?
Yeah, so NYDA and CEDA, so they are funders of youth entrepreneurs, right? So obviously with them as well, you have to have a business plan in place.
And do you have to have your business registered?
Yeah, you have to have a business registered because obviously if they do fund you, they'll have to put some money into a certain account.
Sure.
So they can't put into, let's say, your aunt's account or your uncle's account to say, this is for Junior. You know, they'll have to put into your own company account. So once that is done, so NYDA and CEDA, so they offer both financial and non-financial assistance. So everyone just thinks, you know, these organizations just give you money and leave you like that. So they provide, you know, marketing consultants for you. They provide, you know, entrepreneurial consultants for you, advice as well, because they don't just want to give you money and then, you know, 2 days later they see Utrina's not doing well and his company is sinking, you know. So they're actually there to grow entrepreneurs and to, how can I put it, to push startups as well. So they won't just give you money, but they'll actually assist you with all the necessary business skills that are applicable for, let's say, your environment. For example, if you're in the butchery industry, they'll tell you, right, Junior, there's a person who's been in the industry for, let's say, 20 years, maybe who's part of the panel. You know, they might share some insight with you. So they provide quite extensive support, not just financially, you know, but also non-financially as well.
So these for both of them?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it from my side, unless if maybe you have something else you want to add on. But from my side, I think that's it.
Yeah, so I think we sometimes don't do our research when we're wanting to open a business, where we lay off the burden on someone else. Like there's lots of intermediaries who register, you know, businesses for people. They do the tax clearance, you know, they open the accounts, you know, they do so much, right? So we're not taking that away from them, but we're saying it's nice for you to actually know what, you know, opening a business is all about, you know, the finances, you know, around a business. So as we said, you know, from season 1 is that, you know, people should just go out there and do their research. and open businesses. Like season 2 is all about business now. So we're encouraging people
Open businesses.
to open businesses. So yeah, man, I think if people still have more questions, or if they want us to cover, let's say, certain aspects when it comes to small businesses, they can comment, put their comments in the comment line. And yeah, so that's it from my side, brother.
One last thing, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
With these two organizations you've just spoken about, being CEDA and NYDA, must you already have must you have already have an operating business, or you can just go them there with a business? Let's say there's no business yet, but you have a business plan and a direction of what you want to do.
So I think first of all you have to register a business. So even if you're not operating yet, because some of the time is that we open a business, all right, but we don't know what to do, all right. But although we do have a business plan in place, we go out there to obviously seek funding to say, all right, I want to open a butchery, but I've done my research, I've done everything, because you also have to go to them with an amount. So you don't just say, all right, I need a butchery and that's it. So you have to tell them, okay, guys, I need, let's say, 100,000, and they'll ask you, what do you need 100,000 for A, B, C, D, E. So it's not just for, let's say, businesses that are already operating, but it's for also startups as well. So a person who has a business plan in place, who's registered a company, but has not, let's say, taken the first step in terms of now trading or, selling meat, for example. So it's both basically for startups and for people who are already in the industry as the youth, yeah.
Right. Sweet. Thank you so much for. I almost said listening. I'm so used to it. Thank you so much. No, but still, this episode is still available on Spotify, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. Those are the major ones, and also I know there's other ones as well. Abu Break, But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Now we can say like, share,
Hit the bell icon.
hit the bar icon. Yeah. So don't forget to also follow us on Instagram if you have any questions. I think that's the only place where at the moment we can interact with you.
that's
Instagram.
true.
If you directly send us a message. So we are on uncensored _ the truth about money. Yo, I forgot our own Instagram. Uncensored _ the truth about money. That's very important. The truth about money. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We can't wait for the next episode. Next episode, we're talking about funding, how to obtain funding, what you need to do, what documents you need, and we out.